The political news cycle is fast, and keeping up can be overwhelming. Trying to find differing perspectives worth your time is even harder. That's why we have scoured the internet for political writing from the right and left that you might not have seen. Has this series exposed you to new ideas? Tell us how. Email us at ourpicks@nytimes.com. For an archive of all the partisan writing roundups, check out Our Picks. From the right, a video frame of Maisha Johnson over the casket of her husband, Sergeant David Johnson, in Miami on Tuesday. During a condolence call to her, President Trump said her husband knew what he signed up for. WPLG, via Associated Press. Michael Warren in the Weekly Standard. However, Trump meant his comment. His subsequent war of words with Wilson doesn't help assuage the pain Sergeant Johnson's family feels, nor, for that matter, does the way in which Wilson, a Democrat, went public with the family's complaints. Mr. Warren gives President Trump the benefit of the doubt when it comes to interpreting what he intended in his comments to the widow of Sergeant David T. Johnson. Determining whether those comments, or any condolences offered during a period of grieving, were insensitive is up to the ear of the beholder, he argues. Read more, Jenna Green in the smoke room. The fact that Trump is even attempting to call every new Gold Star family is itself honorable. It's one of the toughest things a president can do, Ms. Green writes about presidential outreach to the families of fallen soldiers from personal experience. In 2004, her father, a Marine Corps helicopter pilot, was shot down in Iraq. She explains how she received a letter from President George W. Bush, but we didn't get a phone call from the president, and we didn't expect to. It's not protocol for presidents to reach out to families directly, unless the death is high profile. Bickering over this kind of protocol, she warns, rarely ends well. Read more, Rich Lowry in National Review. It might be the stupidest and most unworthy controversy of the year, and that's saying something. According to Mr. Lowry, the uproar on both sides of the aisle over this issue is misguided. Mr. Trump may have been right that President Obama didn't call each family of a fallen soldier, but he was nonetheless wrong to use that point as a bludgeon. Mr. Lowry adds that while the president's reported comments to the family of Sergeant Johnson sounded horrible in isolation, there's no way to properly judge without hearing the entire phone call in context. Moreover, Mr. Lowry believes that controversies over condolence calls should be entirely left out of our poisonous political debate. Read more, from the left. Pool photo by Martin H. Simon. Brandon Friedman in the New York Daily News. There's often a misconception among non-veterans that service members sign up with the expectation that they may die. But I can tell you I did 2 tours in combat as an infantry officer, and I never met a soldier who thought dying was a reasonable result of his or her service. If the president did indeed tell Sergeant Johnson's widow that her husband knew what he was signing up for in his call, then, according to Mr. Friedman, he has a poor grasp on how the military actually works. Mr. Friedman, who served 2 tours of duty and worked in the Obama administration, explains that since the September 11 attacks, 1 out of every 5,000 service members serving in Iraq or Afghanistan died on duty. This makes it clear that dying in combat is neither common nor expected, he argues. What keeps troops going, he explains, is the faith that your government, and your commander-in-chief, believe that soldiers' lives are valuable. No one shrugs death off as an inevitability. Read more, Amir Hassan Loggins in the Guardiani. Fully empathize with the family of Sergeant David Johnson. Sadly, the lack of respect given to them is not an American aberration. It is a part of this country's ugly history regarding black people and the military. When Mr. Loggins heard reports of what Mr. Trump had said to Sergeant Johnson's family, he recognized it as the latest in a long string of moments black veterans were shown disrespect. Mr. Loggins points out that black troops have disproportionately experienced military punishment, up to, and including, the death penalty. Read more, Margaret Hartman in New York Magazine. The ongoing dispute over Trump's treatment of Gold Star families runs the risk of overshadowing a more significant concern. More than 2 weeks after the attack, we don't really know what happened in Niger. Ms. Hartman notes that in all the attention paid to the condolence call controversy, most outlets and readers have missed a much more important story: the uncertain events from an attack in Niger that left 4 soldiers, including Sergeant Johnson, dead. In this piece, she outlines what is known and what questions still remain. Read more, Finally, from the center, Leonid Brzezinski in Bloomberg. The U.S. demands even more ceremony of its presidents than other countries, in part because of the expectation that the head of state is also the moral authority in chief. Where Christian leadership is prized and the president is expected to channel those attitudes, Mr. Brzezinski takes a broader view in his column by examining the symbolic, or ceremonial, function of a U.S. president and how President Trump may or may not fulfill this role. He explains how in other countries, ceremonial duties such as honoring soldiers who have died falls to a monarch or other governmental figurehead. In the U.S., he notes, policy and ceremony fall to the same person, for better or for worse. Read more, Want the partisan writing roundup in your inbox? Sign up for the Morning Briefing newsletter or the What We're Reading newsletter. Have thoughts about this collection? Email feedback to ourpicks@nytimes.com.